Personally, the best part about Season 2 of Severance is the fact that the show has wasted no time in moving the story along. Few of us could have guessed that we would see Mark reintegrated this season, or that something as big as Helena Egan being exposed would all come by the 4th episode. Such quick pacing means that when we get an episode like Trojan Horse, we welcome the downturn in pace as we have a moment to catch our breath and really engage with the characters and where they are psychologically, such as the emotional scene of Irving B's funeral and Dylan G's comedic yet heartbreaking eulogy. But before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, drop a like and comment on the video, and if you're able, please sign up for channel memberships for exclusive content, which really helps us out. Anyway, back to Lumen. So, despite only seeing glimpses of it so far in this latest episode and previously during the ORTBO in Woe's Hollow, the reintegration procedure for Mark has already proven fascinating to watch as the full process plays out from the start rather than the chaotic and overwhelming moments that Petey faced. In the latest episode, this intrigue culminates in a game-changing moment for the show when Mark's reintegration causes him to see Gemma from his innie's memories of his wellness sessions. This reveal is not only heartbreaking due to the nature of what he sees, but is also poised to completely change Mark's urgency about finding his wife. During the end of Trojan Horse, Mark drops off a bag of groceries for Ragabi while she's staying in his basement. After a brief conversation about how he's frustrated that his reintegration isn't as instantaneous as he thought it would be, he begins to hear Gemma's voice. As he climbs the stairs of his basement, Gemma's positive affirmations continue, telling his innie what his outie is like, and when Mark pops his head out of the basement door, he's suddenly on Lumen's severed floor. When he turns around, it results in Mark Scout's first interaction with Gemma on screen, even if it's only via memory, and he tears up as the screen cuts to black. What makes what Mark saw so gut-wrenching is not only the fact that this is the first time he has seen his wife since he believed that she died in a car accident and was cremated, it's also that he didn't see his wife as she was, but as the puppet Lumen is using her as now in the form of Miss Casey. Anyone would give anything to hear a loved one say anything, especially kind things about them again. However, to hear their voice as a tool of manipulation tells Mark just how sinister Lumen's intentions must be. So far this season of Severance, it's rather remarkable how unemotional Mark has been regarding any piece of evidence about Gemma and Lumen. At the beginning of this episode, when he's on the phone with Devon, Mark feels oddly calm about the entire situation he's in, making light of how Lumen lied about him falling off a rope during the ORTBO. Even at the end of the episode, learning that Ragabi doesn't know if Lumen is hurting Gemma doesn't draw any strong emotion out of Mark. He merely walks away, seemingly resigned to the fact that there is little he can do in that moment. Perhaps this is because Mark cannot help but be protective of himself, and a part of him still refuses to believe Gemma could still be alive. As we saw in episode 1 of this season, Hello Miss Cobol, he tells Devon that he identified her body and who would want to dwell further on such a tragic ordeal. But now Mark has visual confirmation of the truth, and the tears in his eyes confirm that this moment has affected him more than anything else previously. The only other time we've seen him this distressed is in the Season 1 pilot, Good News About Hell, a strong swell of emotion that Petey even believed Mark carried with him into the office as Mark S. We could be seeing the beginnings of a divide between Mark's innie and outie as we see Mark S beginning to lose faith in his mission against Lumen while his outie becomes more entrenched in his rebellion. With Mark reintegrating, there is no guarantee that his outie will take dominance over the two, so there could be a tragic conflict on the way if, right when Mark Scout is more desperate than ever to find his wife, his agency is curtailed by an innie who simply wants to live their own life for once. Easily, Severance is one of the best shows in recent memory, and it's because of scenes like this and the questions they pose. Mark Scout seeing Gemma via the reintegration process is perhaps the saddest moment of the show so far, and such a moment could see a monumental change in Mark's drive to uncover the truth. Yet, as with all things in Severance, it isn't that simple. With Mark S gaining more of an apathetic worldview, Mark Scout may have to do battle within himself before he can find the one person who's been under his nose the entire time.